have waited long enough. This is Do It Already, the podcast that gets you out of your head and into your power. We talk mindset, neuroscience, and the no BS truth about what it really takes to change your life starting now. Okay, this episode is for all my true crime fanatics out there because I want you to ask yourself, have you ever stopped to wonder, why am I so obsessed with true crime? Well, I am diving into the why behind your obsession. Why do millions of people fall asleep to it? Why does a story about danger actually feel calming? And why does your body relax when you're consuming content that theoretically should stress you out? Here's the truth, and it may surprise you. Your obsession has nothing to do with morbidity, darkness, or being into scary stuff, quote unquote. It has everything to do with your nervous system. Surprise, surprise. Your nervous system is actually using true crime to regulate, predict, rehearse, and feel safe. And as always, there is no shame, no judgment, because this is just your biology doing exactly what it's designed to do. So I'm going to break it down. So listen, your nervous system actually doesn't want entertainment. It wants survival. And if you've ever listened to any of my other episodes, the first thing that most people get wrong is your conscious brain is not what keeps you alive. Your nervous system is. Your nervous system is the electrical survival network that runs through your entire body. It's what regulates your heart rate, breath rate, stress hormones, threat detection, the whole thing. It reacts long before your logical mind even wakes up, okay? So when you put on a true crime documentary, your nervous system is not here thinking, oh, this is fascinating. It's actually thinking, awesome. This is a safe simulation of danger. Let me study this. This is actually called predictive processing, and this is a core neuroscience theory led by Dr. Carl Friston at University College London. Essentially, Dr. Friston's work showed that your nervous system operates by constantly trying to predict what's happening next, minimizing what he calls prediction error, meaning it's constantly trying to limit the gap between what your body expects and what's actually happening. And true crime, well, obviously, that is the perfect environment for predictive processing because it gives you a clear threat, a timeline, a villain, an escalation, and a resolution. Your body feels safe because the danger is predictable, and you relax because your system loves fulfilling its purpose without real risk. When you're consuming true crime, you're also experiencing something called vicarious rehearsal. Psychologist Albert Bandura at Stanford proved decades ago that humans learn through observational modeling, not just direct experience. And this is the exact mechanism behind why schools do fire drills, why we have military simulations and flight simulators. Your nervous system learns by watching. Later studies published in journals like Psychological Science actually expanded this into survival contexts, showing that watching others navigate danger helps the nervous system develop anticipatory strategies. So essentially, when you're consuming true crime related content, your body is quietly rehearsing, what would I do if danger approached me? What cues did the victims miss? How did this escalate? What does motive look like? How do people respond under threat? What patterns matter? Your body is essentially training not for violence, but for predictability and readiness. And I want to also note that people with unprocessed trauma or hypervigilance actually calm down when they consume this because danger they can predict feels safer than calm they can't. And also, I think most of us know women are actually the biggest consumers of true crime content. So much so that women actually consume true crime at 2 to 3 times the rate men do. And no, obviously, this is not random. There is a huge reason for this because women statistically experience higher rates of boundary violations, more societal pressure to monitor safety, more quote unquote be careful conditioning, more chronic threat assessment, and more intuition that is dismissed or minimized. And because of this, women's amygdala activation, The part of our brain that's constantly scanning for threat is at a higher baseline than men. So essentially, for women, true crime becomes validation, pattern recognition, those I knew it moments, survival education, and safety modeling. It gives language to what their nervous system already senses, but was never allowed to articulate. It essentially says, you're not crazy, your intuition is real, danger does look like that. And diving in a little deeper, if your early environment was unpredictable, whether that be emotionally or physically, your nervous system learns safety through high arousal, not calm. This is rooted in polyvagal theory, which was developed by Dr. Stephen Porges, which explains how your autonomic nervous system categorizes safety versus danger. So if you grew up with unpredictability, inconsistency, emotional volatility, chaos, environments where you had to essentially read micro shifts in the mood, your nervous system learned that calm equals unsafe, stillness equals suspicious, quiet equals the moment before something happens. So true crime actually hits a specific nervous system sweet spot for those people because there's tension, anticipation, high stimulus, pattern recognition, emotional activation, controlled intensity, but predictable resolution. It truly mirrors the arousal state in which your body grew up in, but in a safe container. Your body is not soothed by the violence, it's soothed by it thinking it's familiar. That is regulated hypervigilance. It feels like home, not because home was safe, but because home was predictable. And here's one of the most interesting parts that I found. When you consume true crime, you're essentially creating a dopamine loop. You're not drawn to violence, you're drawn to resolution. And I want to talk about dopamine really quick, not the Instagram version, but the real neurochemical function. Dopamine is not about pleasure, it's about anticipation. It spikes when you predict, you wonder, you seek, you're waiting for the reveal, you're connecting dots. True crime is structured exactly like a dopamine cycle. Something is wrong, tension builds, clues appear, the story escalates, the reveal lands, and resolution finally arrives. Most people aren't actually addicted to the darkness, they're addicted to the closure. Because in real life, closure is rare. Answers are rare. Clean endings are rare. And furthermore, your attachment style shapes the reason why you consume true crime. And if you haven't listened to my episode on your nervous system, I break down what these different attachment styles are and the behaviors around them. So in this episode, I'm just going to go through the attachment styles and why you love true crime. But for those who are anxiously attached, they love true crime because it teaches how danger escalates, what signs to look for, and how to avoid abandonment or loss. It's essentially nervous system prevention training. If they are avoidant, they love true crime because it allows emotional distance, intellectualizing fear, studying threat without vulnerability. This for them is essentially controlled emotional engagement. If they're a disorganized attachment style, this feels like comfort because chaos feels familiar. Unpredictability feels normal. High intensity mirrors their constant internal state. It matches their emotional landscape. And those with secure attachment styles watch out of curiosity, out of psychological interest, human behavior analysis. It's about understanding for them, not regulation. Again, these are different wirings, different motivations, same genre. And this is one of the most understood parts about true crime. Essentially, this is giving you the emotional release without emotional exposure because true crime gives you emotional activation, emotional expression, empathetic release, catharsis, intensity, and justice without actually requiring personal vulnerability. You feel big emotions, but they're not happening to you. And this is especially regulating for people who fawn, who people please, who self silence, who suppress their feelings, who avoid conflict, and who grew up smoothing tension. True crime is essentially emotional CPR for shutdown systems. So, what does your true crime habit mean about you? And let me say this clearly. Your love, I promise you, your love for true crime does not mean anything negative about you because you're in good company with the millions and millions of people that listen to it, right? But it just means that your nervous system is adaptive. Your survival wiring is intelligent. Your brain is seeking predictability. Your body is processing emotion safely. Your intuition is validating itself. Your childhood patterns are making sense. Your attachment system is finding familiarity. Your dopamine system is completing cycles it rarely gets in real life. You're not obsessed with true crime. You're obsessed with knowing, anticipating, and resolving. All the things your nervous system didn't get enough of. Your body is not watching murder, your body is studying safety. So the next time you put on a true crime podcast or documentary, don't judge yourself. Instead, ask, what is my nervous system getting from this? Is it predictability, control, pattern recognition, resolution, emotional expression, validation, familiar arousal, safe, intensity? Whatever the answer is, just know it's not wrong. It's information. And once you understand what part of you is watching true crime, you stop doing it unconsciously and start understanding yourself through it. That is awareness, that is compassion, and that is how the nervous system rewires through truth, not shame. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode. You already know what to do, so go do it already. Okay, if you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend, follow the podcast wherever you get your podcasts, rate it, and give it a comment. And if you want more behind the scenes, mindset resets, or a quick kick in the ass when you need it, go follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Do It Already Podcast.
I'm important. I'm funny. I'm brave. I'm smart. I'm kind. And I love my family.
Good job.